The players, the personalities who come from around the world to play professional soccer in the United States.
Go, go, USA! Oh, it's incredible!
In a world where some call it football, football, or soccer, they dare to call it foosball. One thinks New York is blue. The other thinks New York is red. Soccer in America from a German perspective. Let them put some sauerkraut on your hot dog and join them for the Schnitzel Boys USA Hour.
Yeah,
Hey,
USA. USA. USA doing, Bjorn?
Off your phone, because
I'm tweeting. I'm announcing.
We are here.
And we're live. So I just put it on the tweet.
Oh, all right.
Tweet. That's for us. I'm doing this for us, Bjorn.
I am welcome. Good evening. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for welcoming. I'm doing well. I had a pretty good day so far.
I'm glad to hear.
How are you doing?
I am good. I'm wearing freshly arrived NYCFC merch. This crocheted bucket hat fulfilled a lifelong dream for me, which is to look like one of those toilet paper rolls that they have in the back of the car in Germany.
Wait a minute, the back of the car?
You don't, I guess, well, you didn't grow
Educate me, Bjorn.
You know, there's like a I don't know, the Germans like to be prepared. So I think this is sort of my grandparents' generation, I would say. I don't think this is something you see a lot now. But in my childhood...
By the way, by car, we're talking Lloyd Alexander. What are we talking here?
What?
Isn't that the name of an old German car? Lloyd. My grandparents' first car was a Lloyd Alexander.
Lloyd Alexander? What is that?
Right? Isn't that what that was called? It's a German car brand that doesn't exist anymore.
No, I'm unfamiliar.
Sorry. I mean, what car did your grandparents drive?
My grandfather drove a Ford, actually.
What? In Germany?
Yeah. He had a Ford.
Weird.
And
Weird.
Anyway, a lot of people in Germany back in the day would have a royal toilet paper just in case, and because it's sort of, just kind of barbaric to just have that sitting on the back of your truck or whatever. Like, you would often see these like crocheted toilet paper holders in the back of people's cars, in Germany. And so this hat sort of is reminiscent of that to me anyway, especially because it's also a little small for my giant head, I guess. So I do look like it looks like it's supposed to fit a roll of toilet paper. Anyway,
put it in the chat what Lloyd is. Lloyd is a German car from the 50s.
Okay, if you say so.
Production 1955 to 1961. So that's in the late 60s.
That's even before my time.
The manufacturer Lloyd Motorenwerke.
I cover a lot of ground. I mean, if you're putting things in the chat, you should post a picture of a crocheted toilet paper.
I'm gonna Google that. Crochet toilet paper.
That's a thing in Germany. Or used to be anyway.
Maybe let's see here. Here we go. Oh, okay. Maybe I see it. Although I just Googled image. It's just when you Google image, it tells you what you want. Poop toilet paper. I'm not seeing anything.
AI generates the images.
There's Etsy. There's a poop toilet paper crochet car accessory in Etsy, but I think that's just someone on Etsy who made that up.
Well, I guess it's a little out of style then. It's not as current but it was definitely a thing in my childhood, which admittedly was quite some time ago. I also have a sunburn. I went to the beach, and I have Leagues Cup fever. Do you have Leagues Cup fever?
I do not at all. No, I'm fine with Leagues Cup. So I'm fine with it. But I texted you yesterday. You must have been at the beach having a blast because you ignored my text.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But the New York Red Bulls played in an empty Cincinnati stadium yesterday.
Yeah, what happened there?
Versus Monterey. I was going to ask you, Mr. Leagues Cup. I'm like, why is New York Red Bulls?
I'm Mr. Leagues Cup. I'm the Dick
anyway,
I'm
it
the
was
Dick
a
Vitale of Leagues Cup.
Oh yeah, baby!
Yeah, baby, it's
Adios,
Leagues Cup.
Leagues Cup. Adios, baby. Brought to you by DiGiorno's. Oh, DiGiorno's, baby.
We got
We
Liga
need a Dick
McKen's
Vitale.
got 53 points. MLS 457 points.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm in the Leagues
It's
Cup is
crazy.
Leagues Cup, right?
What?
The first week of Leagues, or the first day of Leagues Cup, all the Mexican teams won, right? Except for one MLS team won in the penalties or something.
Well,
So that wasn't good. But then starting the second day, MLS teams did much better.
yeah.
So for my New York Red Bulls, we have a win and a penalty loss. Like loss in the penalties.
After 2 match days, MLS has like slightly more points than Liga.
They seem to be doing well. And then the big news, though,
not much.
Bjorn,
My team.
Oh, yeah, sucked. It was terrible, right? Lost 3-0, whatever.
Typical. Well, I went there. I went to your stadium. I guess you can't have your stadium because we've been using your stadium. And I went.
That's not the story, by the way. That's not the story. The New York Red Bulls. I think the rules are. I don't know what happened, but Monterrey was the home team in Cincinnati. That's why we were in Cincinnati. So the 300 Monterrey fans, and then 10 New York Red Bulls fans were there to represent. And then we played in Cincinnati for some reason. I don't know why that game was in the Red Bull Arena. I don't know. Or Sports Illustrated Stadium. I don't know. But it wasn't because NYCFC needed the stadium that day. That's never going to happen.
That can't be. No, I was kidding.
It was empty that. No, I know. I just want to clarify that. I don't know why. Typical Leagues Cup nonsense. But, the whole, like, Seattle Sounders beat Cruz Azul 7-0. Right? And that's really the big story. That great goal with Pedro de la Vega there. They like just an absolute shellacking. So the likes we've never seen before. Usually it goes the other way around.
Well, that was the team. That was the team that they lost to in the most recently, right? So they had some chip on their shoulder.
What do you mean? What most recently?
Isn't that what happened? Seattle lost in the. Anyway, you keep. Maybe I'm.
The point I'm trying to make is that.
Okay,
that everyone on Twitter is like, look at that. Cruz Azul has a $90 million payroll versus Seattle's $10 million or whatever, and or just big. It's not that, but it's just like Cruz Azul defending super champion. They lost 7-0, yada yada, and I'm just like, they could have lost. Seattle could have won 17-0. Nothing will ever make up for the Vancouver Whitecaps. That's probably what you're thinking of, losing 5-0 to Cruz Azul. At the Champions Cup final, the real game, 2 months ago. So this is like, again, some engineered tournament. And it's like, I don't know what world we live in where Cruz Azul wins 5-0, where Vancouver can't even get past the halfway line in a final, which is pathetic and still triggers me to this day. And then 2 months later, they go up to Seattle and they lose 7-0. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Where's the quality control? But which one would you rather have? Shellacking us in a Champions Cup final in a neutral tournament, or getting shellacked in the group stage of the home venue of some engineered dumb MLS tournament?
This is what I just talking about. This is what I was just saying. Cruz Azul eliminated Seattle from the CONCACAF Champions Cup in March.
Okay, got it.
4-1 and 0-0. So
which would you rather have? Eliminate?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Your
point is correct. Getting shellacked in the group stage of this engineered tournament.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you'd rather advance in the
CONCACAF. We need to be winning the CONCACAF tournaments. I don't really care about Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup is a fake thing. So that's my opinion on it. Like, is it what's happening? I'm watching it. It's fine. A lot of these games are really just going to penalties. I'm going to be more interested in it when the round of 16 starts or the quarterfinals start. I do love the new format. It does make sense. It doesn't make sense it's not in Mexico.
Yeah, the format is good. I like the big table. It's sort of reminiscent of the Champions League. It's best not to start by losing 3-0, which is what my team did, which was not good.
Right. No, but also it doesn't matter because only the top 8 teams,
the top 4 of each.
The top 4 is not top 8.
Top 4 of each.
All right, well, that's pretty slim. But what that means is that it's a weird format because that means the Liga MX teams could beat us 10-0 every game And then the
four
top
MLS
4
teams
worst
would
league
still.
teams still make it through to the quarterfinals, right?
Yep, that's
So
true.
it doesn't really matter if you lose 3-0 to thing. You're not competing against the Mexican clubs until the knockout round, right?
What?
You're not competing against the Mexican clubs until the knockout round. So if you lose 3-0 to a Mexican team, it's not that big of a deal. You still have 2 other games. You're only competing against the other MLS teams. So
Yeah, but
for the
the
first
MLS,
round,
yeah, but that's only okay if the MLS teams lose all their games, which it's not.
which is what happened.
It's not what happened.
And day 1 that happened. Right, not day 2 or 3, but on day 1 that happened. So the day you were shellacked, all MLS teams were shellacked. It was the MLS shellacked.
Well,
team.
nobody was shellacked like we were shellacked because we were in last place after the first day, and even after the third, after everybody had played a game, we were still in last place. And other teams had done better. Yeah, I mean, Puebla are not a good team. Coach Janssen thought he could maybe get past them with a B squad because everybody did need a break. But as somebody pointed out on Twitter, because Puebla are the Montreal of Liga MX, so of course we lost to them because we lost to Montreal twice also. So, but then in the second game, he started our regular starters, and it turns out they're better than our subs. So, and then we won that game.
For us, it was backwards. Our bench played against whoever we played in that first. Chivas de Guadalajara, which we have history with. And then our rock stars came off, including ML Forsberg. And then at the death, ML Forsberg scored the winning free kick right at the death, which was fun. So we got our winner at home against Chivas de Guadalajara. Yay. And then we played against a guy named Dominic Torrent. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a coach. We played against Dominic Torrent's Monterrey with Sergio. What's his face? Sergio the Bruiser, the guy who broke Mo Salah's arm. Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos and Monterrey. And young Julian Hall got himself a great goal, but it was 1-1, went to penalties. Carlos Conel blocked the 5th penalty. However, he was called back because his foot was off the line. And the guy could shoot the penalty again, got a second chance. And on his second chance, he nailed the penalty, and Monterrey won on penalties. So we are with, what is that, 1 point or 2 points? What happens if you lose on penalties?
You get 1 point.
You get 1 point. So we've got 3 points and 1 point, and then we've got 1 game left.
That's 4 points.
You have 3 points with 1 game left, right?
We have 3
So we are above you in the stands.
We cannot. I mean, mathematically, we're not eliminated, but practically we are. I mean,
let's see. There's 1 match day left. Well, it's Seattle.
I mean,
Portland,
we are in 11th. We're in 11th place. We're in 11th place, so that means we have to pass 7 teams on the last match day. I mean, there's Seattle and Portland have 6 points and a very good goal differential, so those we will not catch. So it's like, I mean, it's unlikely, but it is. And tomorrow we're playing at Yankee Stadium, so I don't know. Maybe some people will show up. It is sort of. This just kind of also brought me back to, it's just sort of sad how nobody comes to to Sports Illustrated Stadium when we play there. There's some ethos among the supporters. Oh, it's our rival stadium. I mean, come on now. We're building ours. It's like, fine. It's no longer a point to be made. It's just like, it's what's available. So come out. These games are fun. I don't know.
You are too German. You're too practical. You're too German. You're not thinking with your heart. You're thinking with your head. Now, granted,
what's the alternative? What should they do? Go to Hartford?
I agree with you. I'm German too, Bjorn. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
But your fans are not German, so they're stupid. Generally, I think they're the dumbest fans in the league. I think by conventional knowledge. But fourth.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Nothing. They're the smartest fans.
Sneaks that
like you said, super smart. They don't go to this beautiful stadium available of public transit that's built for soccer in their metropolitan area for reasons. Anyway,
and they now have
trying to make
the concourse is now decorated with the Sports Illustrated covers of old.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I haven't been since. Are you saying they have Bob Rigby and Clint Mathis and Landon Donovan on there?
I did not. I'm not sure. I mean, I was kind of walking by. I didn't exactly
They better have the soccer
committed
ones.
to memory. No, but it's not just soccer. There's some soccer, but it's also other stuff.
Well, Sports Illustrated's only had like 5 soccer covers. So, first one being a man named Bob Rigby. You know who Bob Rigby is, Bjorn?
I think you've mentioned him before.
Maybe. He was a Philadelphia Adams goalkeeper in the 70s for the NASL, and he was like a big American star, and he was on the Sports Illustrated cover
I
in
see.
the 70s. The 70s. Quite a feat. Anyway, point I'm trying to make, 4th to 9th place, we're all on 4 points. The Red Bulls in 9th. So we're dead last of that category of people trying to catch the last train to the knockout rounds. But yeah, Seattle and Portland are on 6, Inter Miami on 5th, and then 4th to 9th, we're all on 4, and then there's the rest. You and Colorado
a
and
lot could
LAFC
still
have
happen.
3. No. So, but I would love if we missed the knockout round. Because it would give us a little more time to focus on the actual title we're playing for this season, which is the MLS Cup. I believe we have games quick. How does this work? So the Leagues Cup goes through to the end of the month, but MLS starts up again next week. So is it midweek weekend, or how does that work?
Well, I think it's only going to be 4 teams in the knockout, so I think it's midweek. But I think maybe they'll also have to move some things around. I don't know, actually. It's not going to be a ton. We're not going to be in it, so then we're going to continue our MLS campaign. And
we've got US Open Cup to worry about. We've got MLS Cup to worry about. So let's hope we lose our game tomorrow and don't make the playoffs. That would be a dream come true if we miss the playoffs of this thing.
Dream come true.
That would be a dream come true. Or we win the whole thing. Because even if we win the whole thing, we'd just be like, "Where's our MLS Cup?" We don't really care about stuff that isn't MLS Cup. We want US Open Cup. We want MLS Cup.
Beggars can't be choosers, man. You should be a little more pumped.
Beggars, defending finalists, 2-time finalists, 96ers.
Well,
we're winning an MLS Cup. Timo Werner, maybe coming.
Oh, is that?
But anyway, we got Leagues Cup. We got that 16-year-old. We got that 16-year-old rock star. He plays with Club Tijuana, right? He's fun to watch. You got the American teams doing well. Like I said, Seattle Sounders doing well. There you go. So we got 1 round of Leagues Cup left before the knockouts. It is possible.
So to answer your question,
there are no MLS teams by the semis because
yeah, that's true.
Because the quarterfinals are Liga MX MLS. It is possible that Liga MX knocks out every MLS team in the quarterfinals, which I would love.
Good for them if they do.
There is one other thing I want to talk about with Leagues Cup. And that's something that makes
me
very, very happy.
To answer your question, the quarters and semis are midweek, and whoever makes it to the final and third place game will have to have their game postponed the weekend of the 31st of August.
Oh, that schedule, which is a big point of talking today. I know that's not the phrase, which is a big talking point.
Big point of talking.
Today. Big point of talking. As today, the main theme is MLS 3.0. There's a bunch of crap going on. Transfers, silly season. The Bundesliga 2 kicked off this past weekend, so competitive soccer in Deutschland is starting. We have, like I said, Leagues Cup stuff.
Did you follow my Bochum had a great start to the Bundesliga 2 season. A lot of new faces. So Derek Ray, the shirts look great. Lavender colored new shirts were very popular. Derek Ray was on commentary in Bundesliga 2. I guess he doesn't have anything else to do. It was a beautiful day, really sunny.
Was it on ESPN?
It was on ESPN. They're streaming it.
Cool.
Lost 4-1 to Darmstadt.
I did not see that. I know Hannover won. I did check up on the scores. Well, Bochum jersey. But there's only one, before we hop into that, there's only one.
There's no hopping into that.
I want to talk about.
This is
Yeah, that's the end of it. Bundesliga 2 kicked off.
Has started.
Is this real quick, is this the purple jersey we're talking about here?
Yeah, it's quite pretty.
Hopefully
this will put the kibosh on any kind of promotion nonsense talks. and we can just kind of.
Hey, promotion relegation. We'll put that on the list. I mean, we probably won't, but I'm trying to lead into our theme.
This is the
There's only
3.0
one
list.
thing I want to talk about, Bjorn.
Okay.
Unrelated in the Leagues Cup. And that is something that really rubbed me the wrong way. I saw footage of it. It pissed me off. And I kind of forgot about it until 2 days later that on ESPN I saw the announcement that this certain individual is now banned from a Leagues Cup play. And did you see this footage in the Inter Miami Atlas game? They had a little scuffle at the end. Well, anyway, Lionel Messi has a bodyguard, right? Some former Navy SEAL or something.
Right. We've seen clips of him.
We've seen clips of him. He's kind of a popular little bald guy, right? Doing the rounds. At first, we're like, who is that? What? And then eventually the journalists are like, dude, he's got a bodyguard. And it's very weird. We've never seen a player with a bodyguard before. Have you? I've never seen that before. During soccer
really.
games?
No, I guess not. It's Messi.
No. So I don't like that already. I kind of learned, by the way, something else. But anyway, he's there to run on the field and tackle field crashers, right? So whatever, it is what it is. However, Lionel Messi got fired up against Atlas. They had some words, and afterwards there was a big scuffle between the players and Messi, and some players trying to get Messi.
Jordi
Lionel Messi's bodyguard,
penalty kick shenanigans. Yeah,
right. But so did you see Lionel Messi's bodyguard fighting the Atlas players on the field?
I did not. No,
I did, and I didn't like that. I was just like, there's Atlas players trying to approach Messi either to shake his hand or whatever. The game was over, and it was after the players on the field were after. And Lionel Messi's bodyguard was like pushing back on this one Atlas player and like fighting him and saying, "You're not allowed to talk to Messi." His bodyguard came on the field and did that. And I was like, that really pisses me off. That's got Salt Bay written all over it, right? It's just like, wait a minute. That guy, his bodyguard is coming on the field to fight an Atlas player who just finished a 90-minute game. Like, he's a player. He belongs on the field. Why is some outsider bodyguard pushing against him? Anyway, that pissed me off. Okay. And I was not the only person who was pissed off by it, because he's now banned from Leagues Cup, the bodyguard.
Oh, he can't be
he's not allowed on the field anymore. He's not allowed on the field anymore. And then I learned in that same press release that he's already been banned from MLS. Leagues Cup is his additional ban on top of that, because apparently he had problems in MLS as well. And they had to make a policy where, quote unquote, like non-approved staff or whatever is not allowed in the technical.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. So it's been handled, Stefan. It's been handled.
It's been handled, and I'm very happy to see
Okay,
that
good.
So, thumbs up.
Thumbs up for the bodyguard ban.
Bodyguard ban. Do you have anything you're dying to bring up before we start MLS 3.0?
Nope.
Okay.
Go to town.
Okay. So I owe you an apology, Bjorn.
Oh.
I have to apologize to you. That's how I'm starting this. Because last week, I didn't really think about it a lot. That's kind of why I didn't really want to talk about it last week. I want to do some Googling first, right? Got to prepare a little bit. But last week, I offered something that at the time I was okay with. I think now I am more resigned to keeping it simpler, and that what you pitched is now what I agree with.
Oh, okay.
So first things first, during the State of the Union address, State of the League address, part of the MLS All-Star game, in homage to America's State of the Union address. It's not the actual State of the Union address, but in the State of the League address at MLS All-Star game, Don Garber, apparently, I didn't hear the whole thing, unfortunately, but from what I understand, Don Garber said MLS 3.0. He said that, which is a slang term coined by the fans to represent different phases of MLS. Now, I, among other fans, thought we were already in 3.0 or whatever. No, we were in 4.0 at this point.
4.0? All right.
Because Beckham was 2.0, we know that. But then there's been other eras since Beckham. But anyway, I digress.
Damn area. All right. Let me just drop in here. Daniel Young is in the chat, so I want to make sure.
Hello, Daniel.
We say hello. He's very scared for tomorrow. Toluca, the champions of Mexico. At least the baseball pitch will save us. Well, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. I mean, it'll be low pressure. I think our chances of advancing are slim to none. So
It is low pressure because if you beat Toluca, I think 3/4 of all the other MLS teams have to lose in addition to that, right?
I just
Something
hope
crazy
that
like
people
that.
will show up. I think the two Red Bull games were so poorly attended. I mean, not just like even also the
Not as
one.
poorly attended as the New York Red Bulls in Cincinnati, so
No, that's
you're good
probably
to go
true.
there.
Yeah, but I mean, you said you had 10 fans. I mean, we had more than 10, but like it was pretty pitiful. So I'm just hoping. I mean, the weather should be nice. I'm happy to be playing at Yankee Stadium. Should be fun. I don't know. Our team is good. I think, the new guys are. I think are clicking. So I'm excited. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm curious though,
Mm-hmm.
if when you have your own stadium out in Queens, if it might be similar attendances for like Leagues Cup midweek. I wonder if that's.
I wonder
I'm
that too.
curious.
I am curious. I am curious about that too. I have been, and this is
Because there
I
will
think,
be some fans who don't want to go to Jersey, right?
How about we'll just table this because I think this
Right.
does relate to MLS 3.0 actually. So I will have things to say, but I think you should continue on your path of apologizing of what was an apology. I think.
I think, yeah. I mean, God, attendance of my ADHD brain. I just checked the attendance of Manchester United versus Everton in Atlanta, see what that looked like. It wasn't amazing either. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. We'll move on. So Don Garber in his League of the State of the League address is like MLS 3.0, and he's talking about like the next phase of MLS. He's saying big words. You said last week. We're talking big things. We're talking schedule change. We're talking brand new roster strategy. We're talking big things. And as a fan of MLS, all these big topics have loomed over us forever.
Yeah, we've heard it all before, right?
Heard it all before. And even breaking up single entity has been something we talked about and all that stuff. But a little history here. I think when the league launched, part of the United States getting the World Cup in 1994 was they had to establish a professional league. And thus the birth of Major League Soccer. However, imagine like the World Cup was summer of 94. It just shows you the before and after of the whole soccer effect here in the United States, right? 3 and 4 people didn't know what the World Cup was. People didn't know how it was going to go in the U.S. People were threatening to rip it from the U.S. and Anyway, the U.S. hosted the tournament, smashing success, right? To this day, the highest attended
great
World Cup
fun.
in history.
Not great for Germany specifically, but in general, very good. Yeah.
But good for the U.S. It was like the first tournament they had public success that people cared about. But anyway, then the league was supposed to launch like in 95. Then it was supposed to be like spring of 95, which already is like 9 months apart. That's quite a gap. But then there was a delay. Then they launched in spring of 96 instead. And they launched with 10 teams instead of 12 teams. Pretty much it was like they did a launch, but oh boy, was it a difficult launch. And imagine the momentum of July of 94, and then the league launched in April of 96. That's almost 2 years. It's a 2-year gap. So the momentum kind of died. And they kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. Cut to today. Soccer's a big deal. World Cup's coming. Super World Cup, Canada and Mexico are involved this time. I think Don Garber and the Brain Trust and the owners are probably trying to do like a soft relaunch of MLS. Maybe not relaunch, but like they're trying to like they know there's big soccer momentum coming into the country this summer, and they don't want to do what they did in '96, kind of lose that momentum going into their league launch. I think they want to ride that momentum going into the league, which is smart. Because we've talked about this many times before. The United States is a soccer-mad country. The soccer fans are here. They're here. You don't have to invent any of them. You don't have to create any of them. You don't have to fly any of them in. You just have to appeal to them because the soccer fans of the United States care about the European game and the Mexican game and the national game way more than they care about the domestic game. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And if they care about the domestic game, it's the women's game, not the men's game. Men's game is not as popular as the women's game. So we have this World Cup, and that's why you're kind of hearing this MLS
that's
3.0.
not. That's not entirely true. I'm just gonna. I mean, the national team, the women's national team, is popular, but like it's not like the NWSL is more popular than MLS. That's not the case.
True. I think I was talking more national team.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's apples. NWSL and MLS maybe more apples and oranges situation.
Yeah.
No shade in NWSL, they do great.
And not at all. No, not at all.
Yeah.
That's not. But I mean, also, yeah, not to say. Yeah. Anyway,
but the women's game is a different beast. It's not like the Man United and Olympic Lyon are huge women's clubs, and then the Gotham City is a small women's club. I think the women's game in general is just more even across the board. I think NWSL
I thought that the women's Euros game looked a little slow compared to NWSL games that I've seen. Like, I don't know, but anyway, different story.
Right.
Continue.
Right. Anyway, so I do feel that they are doing not their best, maybe, but the MLS is definitely using this World Cup as like a soft relaunch. Let's hope, right? Knock on wood. Because historically, MLS has been very conservative and change has been very slow and minimal at best, right? So now they're dropping the big bombs. First thing we're talking about is scheduling. We're going to do a schedule shift. That also kind of lines up with World Cup. It's like, and Don Garber, even though the vote I don't think has happened, Don Garber is talking like it's happening.
It's happening.
And when Don Garber is talking like it's happening, that means he knows something we don't. So if I didn't know any better, I'd say the league is going to like kind of launch in the fall of 2027. Like the new season is going to be the fall of 2027, 2028, like right after the World Cup, which makes sense. Like everyone's watching soccer, then you can just flood the ads all over Fox of like a new MLS starting in August or whatever. Really flood that shit. So that's A. The other thing is this whole roster strategy renovation. We've talked forever about how complicated it is. And Don Garber mentioned he wants to win the FIFA Club World Cup. And like you said last week, it's not about press conferences. It's like it's money. For the winner, it's money talks, BS walks. So then I talked about, going back to the apology thing, I talked about maybe adding a luxury tax, and you said that would never work in a million years. And I was like, well, I disagreed. But I'm going to save that for MLS 4.0. What you said is it should just be a hard cap with 3 DPs, and there you go. And I'm like, well, that's what they do now. But anyway, I thought about it, and you're right. I think the MLS 3.0 roster strategy should just be a hard cap and 3 DPs. Easy peasy. That's it. So that's my apology. I'm like, you know what? I agree with you. Let's do it. Let's do hard cap and 3 DPs. This
is my favorite episode right here.
I'm going to pitch. So I did some research because I looked at MLS has 2 things they need to look at: foreign soccer and domestic American sports, right? Those are sort of the 2 things, the 2 worlds they can look at to inspire how they operate. So,
all right,
the way so NFL, NHL, NBA, and the other one, MLB, all operate. Those are the big 4, right?
Yeah,
all operate on a cap system. They have caps. Now, baseball has a soft cap. The way baseball works is if you spend above your cap limit, you have to pay a luxury tax where you match what you pay and it spills over the other one. I was pitching that and you said, no way. And I'm like, okay, fine, let's keep it. The reason I don't want to introduce that right now is because I think a main thing that MLS needs, simplicity, clarity and simplicity, right? What's that fancy word of exposing the behind the scenes? Not clarity. What's the word everyone uses? Transparency. Thank you. Transparency and simplicity.
Right.
I think that should be the word of the day. The 2 words of the day.
I think the luxury tax is also, that's works for established leagues and businesses that generate a lot of cash. So then it's like, okay, right. there's enough to go around. In MLS, there's still a lot of money lost. It's not that they still lose more money than. So then I think for LAFC's owners to write checks to Bob Kraft in order to be able to spend more money, I don't think that would go over. So
and that's a good point. That brings me to my next point.
That was my objection. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point. That brings me to my next point, which is the American leagues their cap is a percentage based on their revenue. And all four of those leagues, even the NHL, which we argue, on the fan forums, like, we're coming at you, NHL, we're coming at you, NHL. MLS right behind NHL. NHL is still leagues above MLS when it comes to revenue.
To income, yeah, I think
It's
so.
income. I think they're the smallest of the four, but there's quite the gap. And the NHL league cap, club cap, salary cap this year is $95 million per club, per team. And and what that is a percentage off the revenue from last year. So next year it's going to go up because revenue. So, and that makes perfect sense. But like you said, MLS, that ain't MLS, because MLS is subsidized by its owners.
That's at least that's 4 times the MLS average, right? At least, perhaps more. Of what the MLS teams spend on salaries on average.
Yeah, more than that. I mean,
I think it's about.
Some of the higher paid clubs, because of the Ps, are around 30 million, but like
average
MLS clubs are less than that.
So I don't know what it averages out to, but so 4 to 5 times that. Okay.
But like I said, it's based on NBA is 150 million a year. NFL is probably 300 million a year. These are percentages. These are like 40% or whatever they make the year before or something. MLS can't play that game, because if we did the 40% of our revenue from last year, what is the average revenue of MLS Cup? $10 million, maybe. So that means we can't spend.
It's no idea. We don't know. We don't know what they're getting from Apple. We don't know. I mean, this is another thing that happened either yesterday.
We do know what they're getting from Apple. Kind of. It's about $3 million a club.
I don't. Is that official? Do we know that?
It's not official, but like the
$3 million. I mean, that's
the money
horrible.
was announced publicly. What we don't know is how much they. What's up? Yeah, it is terrible.
That's horrible.
The money was announced. The money was announced publicly, so we do know what the money is. We just don't know what the distribution is. Our big variables. We don't know what production costs are, because they pay.
If you have $3 million revenue per club in media,
yeah, that's low.
You gotta like, you shouldn't even be talking about anything.
Right.
That's so little.
Exactly.
Like, I was just gonna say that there was a clip going around today where Don Garber, he was at I think it was in the Hamptons. He was at some kind of get together or a forum or some kind
TOS, right? Talking about,
I forget
Apple
what
TV
it was,
or
and he was talking about Apple TV, and he sounded sort of very testy about it. Like, he was sort of,
he hated the criticism, quote unquote.
I mean, he hates, if not for people complaining, we're very happy with it. It's like, I mean, it was just very weird, because it's like, he's the commissioner, so if he was at all happy with it, he would have been glowing, but just the way it's like, well, we're not quite where we want to be, but we're working, but people are complaining a lot, and so it seems like it's not going super well. I think we can assume.
Yeah, but let's pretend. Let's pretend you get $3 million a year off TV, you get $3 million a year off sponsors, and you get $3 million a year off tickets. Let's pretend. That's probably aggressive, by the way. That's probably optimistic.
And then you're spending $15 million. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
Right. So the point I'm making is, like, MLS can't do the percentage based on revenue plans that the other American leagues can do.
Yeah,
these numbers are promised by the owners. It's an owner commitment. It's a subsidized commitment. So that already is kind of a little bit of a difference. It's
a little bit similar to the WNBA. The WNBA players are now in some kind of standoff over new contract, and that league never has made any money either. And so it's sort of like, pay us what we're worth. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. It is. Is the NBA subsidized? Excuse me. Is the WNBA subsidized by the NBA at all? Do they pay for each other?
They have from the beginning. I mean, it's sort of difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to tease that out, because there's some. But anyway, yeah. But similarly, it's not a. I mean, but it's also improving, much like MLS. It's obviously. Their revenues have gone up, but it's still not. It's just apples and oranges. That's the thing. It's like, if you're saying, oh, the NBA, the players get like 50% of revenue. Yeah, because it's like it's a gazillion dollars, and there's a lot of your costs are tiny compared to your revenues. But in in MLS or in the WNBA, that's not the case. The costs are a large percentage of revenue, so then you can't just give half to the players.
Right.
Anyway, it's just
Anyway,
economics. Yeah.
The point is MLS is subsidized. They do operate at a loss. Maybe. I mean, I don't. Let me just say it's fancy economics.
I mean, they used to
be,
and we don't know exactly what the numbers are. I think.
But if they're making numbers, if they're making there's no way they're making a profit hand over fist. If they are, there's some sort of magic.
They're
that's
not.
Going on.
No. I mean,
we understand the numbers are mysterious, but the point remains is that they're not making a lot of money if they are. So it's
the point that the counterpoint to that is that the values of the teams are going up dramatically because it's a protected system. There's no promotion relegation, so you have so the team values are supposedly rising, but and you get every new team sort of gives a bunch of cash to everybody else, so it's like sort of a pyramid scheme. But at the same time, when teams are for sale, again, unlike the NBA or the NFL, where people are lining up to buy, or people try to scrunch money together to buy these teams. In MLS, it's not the case. The Vancouver Whitecaps are for sale. There's other teams that are could be for sale. And it's not like there's a bunch of people lining up to take over because the numbers are so bad.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, it's another topic, but MLS clubs are valued twice the value of some lower level EPL clubs. So if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a team, am I going to spend $800 million on Vancouver Whitecaps, or am I going to spend $400 million on Burnley?
Well,
the answer is I'm going to spend, and which one makes real income? I mean, Burnley makes so I don't really get the numbers per se, to be honest. But the good thing that's not 100% part of our current topic. That's just part of sports magic, economics. I don't really get that.
But you're absolutely right, though. That is the case. It's because of the promotional relegation situation. These stories like Wrexham exist, or Birmingham now with Tom Brady and Wayne Rooney. They're the robot version of Wrexham. So yeah, these things are happening, and that's just because you kind of get in at a low cost, and then you kind of try and make your own fate. And MLS doesn't work that way. Yeah.
Right. Well, so the point is MLS is a subsidized league. So these numbers that I'm about to offer, or this new roster strategy, is based on a promissory note from its owners, is what I'm getting at. It's not based on just a percentage off the revenue it's already getting. Does that make sense?
But it's also worth pointing out, because it's always easy to spend other people's money, and you're like, well, they just got to spend more money. It's they already spent. I mean, we've been through this before. It costs $500 million or more to launch an MLS team. I don't know how much CFG is spending on the stadium, but it's got to be hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars that are not in the foreseeable future will be covered by ticket sales or anything like that. So it's it's a tough and I think the selling point is but what if MLS becomes like the NBA, or if it catches up? But that just hasn't been happening.
Right.
But
well, this new MLS 3.0 is their attempt at getting in that direction, right? So those are the domestic sports numbers. Now let's look at the international sports numbers, international soccer numbers, right?
Even worse, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Compared to NHL, probably.
Yeah, Capology. The gap is smaller compared to NHL, so it's better in that regards. But according to Capology, and Capology can't be 100% accurate, but still, they put out this famous graphic for the Club World Cup, and we look at a Flamengo, Fluminense, a Boca Juniors, River Plate, a Monterrey, a Club America, right? Those are the clubs we should be looking at, right? Would you agree as an MLS club? We should be looking at those clubs. PSG and Bayern München and Manchester City. There's not even any point looking at that, because PSG's payroll was $300 million, or 175 million. Those elite clubs, it's 175 million, right?
Bayern pay 75 million for 28-year-olds. Oh, but I guess LAFC 15 million for a 32-year-old. That seems pretty crazy too. If that's
Yeah,
true.
but I'm also talking wage bill more. So salary
Yeah.
stuff.
No, that's more. That also is more. It's more important anyway, right?
Right. So I'm looking at Botafogo. Let me do the graphic exactly. But pretty much the Brazilian clubs, which would you agree are were like the best clubs outside of the elite European clubs, the Brazilian clubs, right?
For sure. Yeah.
Their wage bill was around 30 million. Like 29 to 31. I think maybe their bigger one, Botafogo, was up to 45 or something. Well, let me grab this.
Well, it's a little bit. It's a little bit apples and oranges.
Well, for now. Sorry,
It's
keep going. Let me.
No, it's apples and oranges in the sense that Brazil just has this abundance of talent, and so these teams, those they feature a lot of young players, which obviously
put
don't
in the
make
chat for all
money.
of us.
They don't make
Daniel
as
Young's
much
been
money.
talking in the chat, by the way. Let me check. Checking in the
Oh,
chat.
I haven't
Daniel Young, what's
been-
up? Baseball pitch. Thought there was a major Mexico in Queens. I think the new schedule fits NYCFC. Some Mets and Yankees fans say that both will not be usable in December to early March. Stadium stuff, friendly versus a European. Rather watch women's soccer. Any of the Daniel Young with some hot fire here. To be honest, I would rather watch women's soccer any day of the week than WNBA. Well, to each their own. Even with the New York Liberty Championship.
Right. I was there. I was at Barclays Center when the Liberty won their championship, so I enjoyed that. But I hear you though.
But anyway, I put the link in the chat. So Porto. So let's look at Palmeiras. Palmeiras' wage bill was 42 million. Porto's wage bill was 27 million. And Inter Miami's wage bill was 25 million, but like you said, it's a little apples and oranges because 20 million of that was just Messi, and the whole rest of the roster is 5 million. And I think that's our big difference right now is our disparity within our teams. Like some stars make big bucks, but the rest don't. Whereas a place like Palmeiras at 42 million, Botafogo 26 million, Flamengo at 51 million, Fluminense is 26 million. River Plate at 45 million, Monterrey at 39 million. So these are all in the mid 100 million to quarter. So 25 million to 50 million range is what we're looking at for these clubs.
They have a lot of domestic talent, right? They don't have to go out and convince people from other countries to come. So they have an abundance. So that's why.
So it's already a win-win for them.
They can get a lot of good young players at low wages.
Yeah. So that already it puts them at an advantage. So even if our salary cap was 45 million, like you said, they still have an advantage because of their abundance player pool they're sitting on versus the one we're sitting on. We have to pay more for their players to import them. So that's a good point. If we were at 45 million and they were at 45 million, they'd still be an advantage. So something to think about. And if Don Garber wants to win the Club World Cup, that's the stuff we have to think about. So my pitch is this.
I think that's true. I think 45 million buys you a better team in Brazil than it does in Columbus or Los Angeles.
Because we have to pay more of a premium of imported players than they do.
A little bit.
It's like gas here is $3 a gallon, but gas in Riyadh is 19 cents a gallon. Because they have the gas. We have to pay taxes on it.
The Riyadh's gas is Brazil's young soccer players. Yeah, I think that's not. I think you're right.
So this is my pitch. And it sounded crazy at first, but even with this, we would still be outnumbered by most of these wage bills, or we'd at least match them. Like Porto's was 27 million. And it's funny that Flamengo pays twice than a Portuguese champion pays for that. That's interesting to think about. But anyway, my pitch is this. Let me know what you think. I'm going to talk about a couple of things. But for starters, right now we operate at a $6 million cap with a 6 DP system, right? Of 4 youngsters, 2 old guys, or 3 youngsters, 3 old guys type complicated
Depending,
system.
Yeah.
Depending.
Which one you choose, right?
Right. But anyway, I'm going to change it. Under MLS 3.0, as pitched by me, the new system is this. Everyone has a $30 million hard cap with 3 DPs that do not count against the cap. That's it. So it's $30 million for your team, and then you got 3 players, 3 slots for your Thomas Mullers, for your Leo Messi's, for your Sung Hung Min's, the guys that need the special treatment, that need the real salaries. You get 3 slots for those. Otherwise, your team costs you $30 million. That's my pitch.
Okay.
So it sounds like a lot, but honestly, like, you don't have to spend all of it. First off, that's a cap, and I'm sure teams like New England would gladly not spend all of it. And then our wage bills can go high. Let's pretend we have 3 players at $10 million each. Then a very, very, very expensive MLS team would be $60 million, which is still a half to a third of your PSGs. PSGs at 197 million. Bayern were at 274 million. Even Borussia Dortmund are at 115 million.
But those are you get into an internationally competitive range.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? So at 60 million, we would still be not as good as the European elite, but we would definitely be, on paper, have the spending power of your elite non-European clubs. Even your elite Portuguese and smaller league clubs. Like, we would be able to match PSV and your Portos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we'd also be able to match the mid to lower table teams, maybe. The only group of teams that we can't match the spending power of would be that European elite, those Champions League finalists, those guys. Those we still can't compete with. But versus a Flamengo, or versus a Fluminense, or versus a Club America, or versus a River Plate, that 30 million plus 3 DPs is pretty competitive. We can start signing some more established foreigners. That would be pitch 1. So those are my numbers. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that'd be a huge step forward from what we have now. Yeah, that'd be transformative.
What are your? Give me an over/under on this new roster strategy, having numbers looking like that.
Oh, I'll take the under, guaranteed. I don't think. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, because it's not. Yeah, like we've been talking about, it's not backed up by any kind of revenue. So it's like, you would just basically, create a multi-tier. Yeah, or you would. And a lot of there would be the gaps between teams would widen, and that we'll see if people are up for that or not. But I mean, but I think that's the kind of, I think where you're correct is, like, if you really want to, if you really want to be legit competing internationally on a serious level, that's kind of the range that you got to be in. I think that number is well chosen. On the other hand, the flip side is, it's still, you're not getting into, but I think it could hit a sweet spot where it would raise the level to the point where exponentially people would tune in more, because
maybe it's
more. Because the thing is, we are.
You got to spend money to make money. You got to spend money to make money.
Yeah, and we're in such a different, like you were getting at before, we're in such a different situation than we were in 1994. 1994, people, like, soccer was just not a thing. When I came here, I arrived here in just after the World Cup in November of 1994, and soccer was not a thing. It was not on TV. You couldn't, like, the next World Cup 98, it was very difficult to even watch. Like, it just wasn't a thing. Now that's not the case. Soccer's everywhere. People watch it. But like we've talked about before, people are now understand the game enough to distinguish between soccer and US soccer. And the product is not on the same level. And, a lot of people have Liga MX is popular because people have attachments. A lot of the, part of the population with Mexican heritage, they have the teams that they like. European football is the top. Premier League is usually popular because it's the top of sport, and every other league in America is the top of its sport. So that's what people are used to watching. And I think the only way to catch up is to like I've said that before too, like just spend more money and kind of catch up. And I think you're picking a good number of what it would take to do that. Now, my counter argument is that the old, the OGs of the league, the are not going with this because they're like, we're already losing money. Now you want us to lose more money for longer. So it would require.
They don't have to, by the way. Cap.
Yeah, but then they're really gonna fall behind even more than they already are. So yeah, it's I think
not financially.
I think the other way to go is the USL way. Like this is my counter argument to obviously MLS has decided to go big. They have, they've built stadiums. It costs $500 million plus to get in. And the idea being like, eventually we're going to catch up with the big four. But the counter argument is that that's not happening. And maybe the opposite direction is the way to go. Maybe you just don't try to compete and you really just, and what I'm thinking about when I say that is Vermont Green. Vermont Green, my third team, I guess, my new third team, have won the USL League 2 championship this season in Burlington. At Bernie Bayo, yeah, you saw it. I did not love that exactly, but like, but the vibes were good. They have a 2,000 to 2,500 seat stadium. It's sold out immediately for all of these games. If you see video of it, people are going nuts. The club is it's basically an amateur team. They they recruit good college talent. It's a very short season, so they can do that for like basically people just play in the summer. But anyway, the point I'm making, obviously, they're never going to be in the Club World Cup. But maybe that is also something to embrace. Like maybe your local team doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but it's minor league soccer. Thriving minor league soccer is good for everybody.
But that's
talking the majors, though.
But that's what but I guess my counterpoint is if we can't keep, maybe it's worth, maybe we should stop trying to compete and just focus on this is what it is.
You're losing me, Bjorn. You're losing me. Are you saying that the way forward is to stop investing, dismantle everything, and let everything be minor league?
Well, well, no, I'm not saying that, obviously. I think
the minor league is thriving. It's thriving forever. The minor league's always crushing it.
But
so good for them.
I think the problem is this rhetoric of 3.0 and like we want to win the Club World Cup, we want to be the league of choice, whatever their slogan is. People see past it, at this point. Like it's in 96. In 96, that might have worked to some extent. Oh, we saw the soccer a couple of years ago. We will watch more soccer. That's fine. Now people understand what you're seeing in the World Cup, in the Club World Cup, and what you're seeing on your average MLS field are not exactly the same thing. And so I think it's damaging this idea of like promising that it is kind of the same thing or it's getting to be the same thing, like this constant sort of, oh, we're almost there or we're getting there, or there's like an industry of people kind of talking about like how close are we even getting? I don't think that's helping. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, yeah, the answer is not to shut it all down, but I think
we're talking two different things though. Like you're talking about how great small town soccer is. It's like, yeah, because it's minor league small town soccer. Like there always has to be a time. Like MLS is big city soccer.
No,
so
I think,
soccer is supposed to be big city.
No, I understand. No, I'm not saying. I don't think we're talking about two things. What I'm maybe I'm not explaining myself. I think what people.
You're not talking about pro-rel, are you?
Connect to what
pro-rel?
Well, pro-rel, it can never. I mean, that's not the. I think again, I've said this before. The pressure of Pro-Rel will come from the minor leagues. Like if the
That sounds like what
USL,
you're talking about,
if
right?
the little USL pyramid, if the
Right.
USL pyramid starts working and puts pressure on,
Right.
gets to the point where the USL champion is maybe at an MLS level, they'll be like, well, let's let them play against each other. So I think
Sounds like that's what you're talking about.
so that's one thing, but I think we're a long way away from that. But and we'll have to even see if this USL Pro-Rel even works, because obviously even a team like Vermont Green, they won the championship. They're not ready to get promoted to anything. All their players are going to college. Like they're not like
Right.
so no, it's not. That's not realistic. What I'm trying to say is that what people are attracted to when they watch European soccer, when they watch the Premier League, when they watch Wrexham, whatever, it's this authenticity, right? Like these are real teams in real places that have a history that people are into. And you don't just spend $1 billion and create that. So I think there needs to be a little more focus on that and just kind of embrace what there is, because
you're cutting me off. I haven't gotten into my next stuff yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Well, I got on a roll here.
No, it's good to be your point, but I have other things to talk about.
All right, please go.
That's just step one, right?
I'm down with the 30 million
right.
cap plus 3D piece. I think that would be a great next step.
Right. The next thing you're not going to be for, because this is where we always differ. I have an America first when it comes to soccer mentality. And I love what you're talking about, the whole, like, you get into what it is. So, like, when Seattle Sounders played PSG, we're talking Jesus Ferreira, we're talking about Jordan Morris, we're talking Christian Roldan, we're talking hometown boys, right? We're talking thriving academies. I think there's still nothing more important, especially for a non-European league, than for your basis to be your homegrown, your academy boys, right? You're talking about how Brazil and Argentina have a plethora of talent. That's what we're all supposed to be doing. And in a way, we are doing. Like Mexico, too. Mexico sits on hundreds of young players. Here in America, there's no reason we're not doing that either. We need to be very aggressive, bringing up our college boys, bringing up our academy boys, and just creating players. Therefore, the second part of MLS 3.0 is the simplicity stuff. Right now, we have that tam, gam, thank you, ma'am crap. I'm eliminating all of it. I'm eradicating all of it. Eradicating. There are two contracts: senior contracts and youth developmental contracts. That's it. Youth developmental contracts are for your reservists, your MLS Next Pro guys, that kind of thing. Those are intern wages, $500 a week. And then when you get called up to the first team, you get a $500 play bonus, that kind of crap. So pennies. Then you got senior contracts. Like I said, it's a $30 million cap. So you can play. You can pay a dude $3 million a year. You pay another dude $500,000 a year. Use your own discretion. Whatever their value is, it's an open value system. Senior players. So you got your senior players and you got your youth players. The next step is you have two types of designations. One is a domestic player. The other is an international player. A domestic player is a U.S. citizen, a Canadian citizen, a U.S. green card holder, or a Canadian permanent resident card holder, which is their version of the green card. Those guys are domestics. That's it. Your international players are on visas, right? Special visas to play here. Those are your international players.
But that's already
international players and domestics.
That's already what's happening.
Hold on. You're not allowed to trade international slots. None of that crap. There's no trading. There's no trading ever anymore. It's all cash based. But every MLS team is allowed 6 international slots. That's it. No more. You're not allowed to trade. You're not allowed to get a 7th or an 8th. Every MLS team is only allowed 6 players that count as internationals. So when Inter Miami plays 11 foreigners like they did over the weekend, where none of them are domestics at all, that's a thing of the past. We never have to see that crap ever again. So there's a 6-player cap. The most foreigners you can have in your starting lineup are 6 players. Now, like I said, green card players are domestics. So Lewis Morgan just got his green card. Hani Mukhtar, I think he's about to get his green card. Like committed foreign players
Lots
who are
of people
have
have,
been here for a
yeah. I
while.
mean, we saw this
They're
in
green.
people get green cards pretty quickly once they have.
Doesn't it take 5 years?
No.
How long does it take to get a green card?
No, I don't know. I don't think it's a. I was surprised in the past, because we've seen this with NYCFC, how people get green cards pretty quickly, like after a season or two, because that's how it goes. So like. Well,
season?
anyway,
Only 1 year to get a green card? Are you sure?
it was weirdly different from player to player. I don't know how these things work exactly, but like some.
Well, then maybe I need to revise that. Pretty much the idea is that even though we have our $30 million plus 3 DPs, it can't just be an entire imported team of foreigners. You're only allowed 6 internationals. Therefore, you have to pay good money and get 6 good internationals. No obscurios from Romania and Czech, that kind of crap. All your obscurios, you can get them domestically. So that's sort of my follow-up caveat to that. And what it does is it promotes the domestic player, develops domestic talent, and it creates that sort of league, like having a relationship with your club, like your John Tolkien's and your Jimmy Sandses and your Johnny Shores, like more of that. So when it's time to play your Flamengo at the Club World Cup, you got hometown boys going out there playing.
What do you? All right, let me know when you're ready for my response.
I am right now, but like all I'm saying is there's the domestics and the things. 6 internationals. But the domestic, like I said, domestics are green card holders. So there's opportunities for a lot of, and also the dual nationals. Noah Allen plays for Greece or whatever, and Benjamin Camacho plays for some other Honduras or something like that. It's like that's not related to it. It's just literally labor status. So there you go. That's my other thoughts because I don't want to become a Saudi Arabia China situation or an old NASL situation. Like what Inter Miami is doing right now really pisses me off. The fact that all 11 of their players are foreigners, none of them with green cards.
But that's not
it's
even.
Like, what even is that?
What do you
what
mean?
Even is
they
that?
have a bunch of local people on their team. No, I mean I'm not like a super.
Their starting lineup last night was 11 non-domestic, non-green carded foreigners, all from South America, and I guess 2.
So how do they? But how do they even do that? They can't have that many international slots. That can't be.
They must. Bjorn, I don't know. They trade for international slots.
But like Kramaski is the local guy. Like they have a bunch of local people.
That's why there's no trading of slots. Every team gets 6 internationals, no more. It's just you get 6 internationals. You don't trade those slots. You get 6 internationals. Those are your caps. I'm willing to go to 8 if people want more. But right now I'm happy to. I want to be aggressive, so I'm going for 6.
So what are you doing with the 30 million? You give it all to Johnny Shore? Like Johnny Shore is just going to get better.
Cap. It's a cap. You can go up to 30 million.
But you need to. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean we've been.
What's the point of just flooding the league full of foreigners?
But those are 2 different. I mean, these are not. And I guess this is,
look at the Bundesliga.
Vermont Green is all Americans. So
yeah, of course. Well, it's on the budget. Yeah, low
so I mean, those 2 things are in conflict. This is I guess what I would say.
I know that's why I offered
these 2 things. And they don't go together. It's not like if you expand your cap to 30 million plus 3 DPs. But then you say, oh, you got to play like you can only have like 6 international people. Like then, what are you going to do with that money? You're going to just spend it on just because the American players are not going to get better just because you pay them more.
You don't have to spend it. I'm changing the mentality. Right now, our cap is so low that it's always maxed out, and we're still struggling.
But I think
$30 million cap means you don't have to think about money anymore. It's just like. Sign players what they're worth. Sign Marco Reus for $2 million. He doesn't even have to be a DP, right? Then go buy Hani Mukhtar as a green card player. Then go buy Jesus Ferreira. Then go buy Jordan Morris. Like you're allowed to spend whatever you want on players without being too bothered by it. All I'm trying to do is make sure. Like I don't see the point of 25 foreigners per club. Like I don't know what I'd be watching anymore. because it's like I'm just going to go watch PSG versus Bayern anyway versus Man City. By the way, in the
Well, but this
Bundesliga,
is
they
but
have
this
domestic
is
players.
again.
Even the big clubs do. You have to have domestic players.
Yeah, but that's again, it's a different thing because they have a lot of good domestic talent that this country just doesn't have at this point. So
We
the
need to
question
do.
is,
Our academies need to pick it up. I mean, that is the
yeah, but it's like
that should be the biggest goal of MLS
this
3.0.
has been talked about for decades. It's like the academies are just not doing a good enough job. Like that's not what it is. It's like it's just not as big a deal here, and so there's not as much. There's not as many kids that play it seriously, and so it doesn't, whatever you want to say about the system or player development, blah blah blah, or everybody who's good is going to Europe, whatever it is, the reality is there's not that much talent.
So the Philly Union are just lucky. They're just lucky.
I mean, they're not
Colorado
lucky
Rapids can't do what
but
the
they're
Philly
not, but
Union
it's
does
not
because they're
like,
not as
but they're
lucky.
not at a level. This is what I'm saying. It's like it's not both. It doesn't go both ways. It's like it doesn't.
Well, then you tell
Like
me. So what did you
hold
want?
on. The goal of improving the league or raising the league to an international level, to an internationally competitive level, if your goal is we want to compete in the Club World Cup, that is in conflict with saying our number one priority is to develop American talent. Those two things don't go together. Developing domestic talent is a slow process. It's been tried to be improved for many, many years in this country with some success. I mean, the talent pool definitely has improved, but not like, hasn't been an explosion. And so that's just what it is. So that sort of goes more to my point. Like, why? So you could also decide, let's do that. Let's focus on the American player. Let's have people really committed to their teams and have a more local kind of a thing and like build community, blah, blah, blah. This will not make you internationally more competitive in the short term. It just doesn't. The only way to get better quickly is to buy good players, and they come from elsewhere. That's just how it is. I also don't. And I mean, I think we also have a little bit of a philosophical different view. I love Jimmy Sands. I love Johnny Shore. I love Justin Hack. I like seeing those kids come from the academy. I like kids that come from elsewhere just as much. You see them grow, you get to know them, even veteran players that come from wherever. Like, I don't agree with the basic idea that somehow somebody coming from somewhere else is somehow bad. Like, I mean, I understand, I guess if you have hopes for the U.S. men's national team, etc., like, I think there is some tactical stuff that, but I think it's those are two different things. Like, you can't have it both ways. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree. I feel, though, that MLS has a responsibility to the domestic player. And I do agree there's two things. That you either want to compete with the best and just blank check like Saudi Arabia does, or China, or whatever China used to do, or you develop your own player. And I feel that the league can never forget to develop your own player. Always comes with the territory, always.
But I think but at the same time, also, if the
I'm going to offer you,
if the level of
yeah. Sorry, you go ahead.
If the level of the league gets better, that's also good in the long term. It's good for the development of
it's a replacement
of the better players. No, because somebody like Jimmy Sands is who he is because he had better talent around him that makes everybody
right. I agree.
Makes everybody better. And you have to compete.
This goes to
but if you have to compete with better players, you don't want to. I mean, I definitely. I mean, I guess this depends on if you have what your political views are, but I don't. I want better guys. Like, I don't look at our lineup and go like, oh no, play the. I mean, we just went through this in the Leagues Cup. The first game we start Nico Caballo. Is a great story. He was drafted 85th. He came from UCLA, at a great preseason. He's the backup left back. He's not that, he got beaten twice. He kept everybody on side on one goal. He got smoked all night. He had to come off at halftime. I think he's a great kid, but it's like, I'd rather have somebody who's better. I mean, it doesn't matter what country they're from.
So this is what a roster looks like under the Stefan rules, right?
Okay.
You're starting, the 6 foreigners are Thomas Muller, Sung Heung-min, Lionel Messi, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and then your sixth foreigner is Hugo Lloris, right? Those are the six foreigners in the Stefan rule. Under the current rule, your six foreigners are Alonso Martinez from the budget bin, Gustav Bregren from the Czech second division, Fernando, what's his face, who vapes in the locker room. Like right now, the foreigners we're buying are on a budget, so we have to buy rejects and damaged goods, right? Talos Magno, we can only get him because he got injured, and Arsenal realized he was poop. We can grab him from the slop heap. My new rule says we are getting foreigners, but they're no slop heap, no rejects, because we're paying real money for them. They're proven players. So starting lineup, it's Hugo Lloris, it's Sung Heung-min, it's Thomas Muller, it's Marco Reus, it's Leo Messi, it's Jordi Alba, and then it's like Jesus Ferreira, Christian Roldan,
Noah Allen,
Jordan Morris, Noah Allen, right? It's not Noah Allen. It's not other better ones. Noah Allen's Greek, but but do you understand what I'm saying? They are competing against foreign talent, but really good, proven foreign talent. They had to keep up with. Cut to the Club World Cup when we played PSG. Who would you rather have? Frickin' Gustav Bregren and the boys, or would you rather have Marco Reus, Thomas Muller, and Leo Messi going at PSG? You know what I mean? Like it's. I think you can have your cake and eat it too. I think we need to put a service to our domestic player. I just find that to be a responsibility of the league. So that's me. But what you're saying, would you be happy if 100% of the league, there were no Americans anywhere to be found ever? They're just your bench warmers and your water carriers.
But why would? But that would never. But that would never happen because.
But I'm asking, would you be okay with that or what? That's happening now. It's happening now. People can trade international spots.
It's not happening now. It's not happening now.
It's happening in Miami. They have 11 foreigners in the starting lineup. Maybe Noah Allen gets off the bench as a Greek international who was born here.
But I think that's also. But I think that's the beauty of it. I don't like a lot of restriction. I mean, we'd have to. I think you're also not correct about how many domestic players. They may have Latin sounding names, but they're still locals. Like Miami has a lot of you don't
understand. The 11 lineup. I know it's very rare. Obviously, it's a special moment.
Okay, in this one game,
pretty much it showed the fear I'm talking about. All 11 players. The only one that had a green card was the goalkeeper because he was replacing the 44-year-old Argentinian dude who was injured that day. But he was also Argentinian. He was just born in LA. So
yeah, I guess
10. So it was one, but 10 of them were foreign.
I guess to answer your question, yeah, that does not bother me. Actually, if it happens, and if there are no American players good enough to compete in this new and improved league, then so be it. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think somebody should get a spot just because. So
what is your policy?
Passport?
I offered mine. You offer yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way it is now is fine, basically. There's international slots. It doesn't seem, if somebody's been there for a couple of years, he gets a green card, he doesn't count anymore. I don't have any problems with the way it is right now. And different teams have different approaches. I think that's the beauty of it. I think that's where you really get somewhere, where you have some teams that really have their own character. Like the Philadelphia Union is all about the academy kids. Your team to some extent, a lot of young players. Then my team has more of a mix. We have a pretty solid academy that keeps producing, and we have a lot of domestic players, and we have a lot of international players. And then if you want some teams that are like we're just going to import everybody, I think that's the fun. That would be the fun thing if different teams have stronger identities in that way. I think that would only be for the better. If people were more, if different teams were more distinct in their approach, and then see how it shakes out. I also just don't. I don't think about it all that much. It's like where somebody's from exactly. Every once in a while, when NYC, I'm like, oh, look, we have like 6 Americans on the field at the same time. I notice it, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, great, I've been waiting for this or whatever. Like, no, I don't feel that strongly.
Well, let's imagine that Al Hilal won the FIFA Club World Cup with all 11 foreign players. Would that make you think, oh boy, look
I
at
mean,
that
even
Saudi
that's
league?
not happening. Even they have some,
We're playing the make
domestic
believe.
players in there.
I know. We're playing the make believe. Okay, let me change the make believe. Let's say that NYCFC wins the FIFA Club World Cup with a 25-man roster from Latin America. No Americans, no Europeans. Would that make the world be like, wow, look at American soccer. Look at that league. They're so good. Or do you think people would just be like, they just bought some trophy, like with all these foreigners? Which do you think would be the response to that?
I don't think
Versus Bayern München winning with your Manny Neuer as
yeah,
captain
but they
and Thomas
also
Mullers.
they can't win without their international players either. And
Yeah, but
people
it's a mix.
embrace-
Imagine if there were no
people embrace
Germans on the
them.
Bayern München starting lineup. Imagine if there were no Germans there.
Well, that would be a sad a sad thing because I mean because
Why?
but it's not
Say
the
it.
same, it's not the same thing because no, it's not the same thing because Germany has a history of having a lot of domestic talent, and the hope is that would be the case here too. I mean, and it wouldn't. And I think I mean, your hypothetical is also not realistic because the American talent has gotten better. I mean, certainly my team in the time that it's existed, the 10 seasons, the percentage of Americans has gone up because the academy has been around. In the beginning, there was no academy, so we
I'm
had
talking hypotheticals. I'm talking about hypotheticals.
yeah, but like what it's not a real scenario. Who like what is
Let's say Al
what if
Hilal won the FIFA Club
everybody
World
was
Cup.
a murderer? If they had 11 murderers, convicted
be bad.
murderers in the
That'd be
lineup,
bad 'cause
how
they
would
need
you
to
feel
be-
about that? Would you like
I'd
that?
feel bad because then you'd be convicted by a court of law and then you'd go to jail. But
Yeah,
let's say
but
Al
I mean, it's just
Hilal
hypothetical.
beat Real Madrid, right? But Al Hilal had 9 Brazilians on their team, so essentially it was like a Brazilian All-Star squad. Let's say Al Hilal did win the FIFA Club World Cup. They made a run to what? The quarters, the semis. They made the run to the semis, right? They got close. Let's pretend they won the World Cup with their hired Brazilian guns. The quarters. Let's pretend they won the field with their hired Brazilian guns. What would that make? Would you be like, well, could Saudi Arabia go, or would you just be like, that was like, how would that make you
I
feel?
mean, it's another put to at the highest level. There's very few domestic players on these teams. I mean, Bayern München is probably an extreme because they also have the money to buy up all the German talent that they can afford. So, but like how many English players are in City? How many English players are on Arsenal? Not that many. Like
Well, the
these,
English,
the
not that many, but
highest, the
there
highest
are
level.
some. There are some, but the
There
English
are
league is an
some.
example. The English league is an exception. That's a whole nother thing. I think MLS is trying to like emulate the English league, but with much lower budgets and much less.
But I think it proves. But I think the Premier League proves my point. Like they have exploded because they have not protected
right. They're a global
their
league.
English talent particularly.
But they're
well.
the only,
and a lot of
they're
people.
They're the only global Australia because they're up top.
Well, because
Spain,
they have the most.
Italy's got Italians, Germany's got Germans because they're not as rich. Argentinians got Argentinians, Brazil's got Brazilians. The United States needs to have Americans. We're not the English Premier League. There's no point of us having 100% foreign teams if we're not the global All-Star League.
Okay.
There's only one global All-Star League. That's England. They made that choice 10 years ago to get rid of the English player and just pay for the best. And then the fans were okay with it, and that happened. But that's what they did. For a lot of angles, I see MLS just copying that like business model, but not having the money to pay for good foreign talent. So they have to be very creative. So we have these like EPL style rosters where it's mainly just people from all over the world on the team, but it ain't the same type of all the people around the world on the team. It's your youngsters, it's your old knee guys, it's your obscurios. So it just always makes me think. I'm like, what's the point? Like we should bring in foreign talent, of course, but I want to bring in proven good foreign talent only. I don't see the point of bringing all these obscurios in and taking essentially spots from young Americans who could win by trial by fire.
But they're not taking. Yeah, that's where I just disagree. They're not taking spots from American people. We have
Americans learn on the job. Brad Guzan became the best goalkeeper because the Mexican goalie that showed up broke his leg. So they threw him out on the field. He had a rough 5 months, but then solidified and became the best goalie in the best in MLS. Trial by fire. If that Mexican guy never broke his leg, we might have never heard of Brad Guzan. Sometimes you got to thrown in there and have 5 to 6 rough months and learn on the job. That's kind of part of it, I think. And look at England. English kids can't get in there. They have to go to Germany to get some minutes because the Germans will play you. So like Jude Bellingham only shows up because Dortmund gave him minutes. His clubs in England give him no minutes. You gotta throw him in there sometimes. Let him grow. So but that's the point for another time. So I think that was I want there to be more of a domestic focus. You want to keep the internationally liberal focus in the league. I think that's really all I have to say.
No, I don't want. I'm not saying I'm. No, I wouldn't even say that. If I think it's a different choice, you can also say, okay, we're gonna feature the domestic player, but then you're not gonna raise the level short to medium term.
My thing is,
and I'm down with the Vermont Green. I'm down with the Vermont Green approach. Just have local community focused teams.
Right,
and have a different vibe, and that way you can distinguish yourself from the Premier League, etc. I think that's it would be a valid strategy. They just don't go together. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but with the $30 million cap and the rule, I get rid of everything. I get rid of everything.
And I'm also very happy to watch Alonso Martinez and Raul Gustavo. Daniel Young is saying is coming from the Croatian First League. I'm happy. I'm happy to see these people
but in
come
turn,
from
I'm
other
also
leagues.
yeah.
And so I'm not, I'm down with the signings. And we had Gabe Siegel start for a long time, and we're like, that was clearly not working. So it's not like you just throw anybody.
I'm getting rid of all the gotcha. Yeah, I'm getting rid of all the geo restrictions and all that crap. So under my model, you're also allowed to buy
the academies. The academies are
we'll get rid of all that. There's no draft, by the way. I got rid of all that. Scouting is wide open. I'll just sign whoever you want from wherever you want. If a Philly Union Academy standout isn't getting minutes, I'm the Colorado Rapids GM. I'm allowed to sign him, and he's allowed to be my starter next year. No geo restrictions. But under my law, you're allowed to buy all of America's best players and put them on one team too. So you're allowed to buy Jesus Ferreira and Jordan Morris. You're allowed to buy Miles Robinson. You're allowed to buy if James Sands is back. I'm allowed to buy all of America's best players, give them real salaries, and make like an American super squad. I'm allowed to do that too. Under current MLS rule, you can't really do that, but under my rule, you can. So, if Miami has 11 foreigners, that's fine. And then I'm allowed to buy my American super squad, DC United or something like that. Like you said, I'm all about the diversity of lineups. The current MLS doesn't allow for that. The current MLS wants all the rosters to kind of ape each other. I would much rather to be there a variety of like the young team, the old team, the American team, the foreign team. If it encourages variety in lineups, then I'm also all for that. But there should be an American like all-star team then at least, where the best Americans all go to. Does that make sense?
No. So now we're the U.S. men's national team is gonna compete in MLS. You want to have
I'm saying my roster is wide open. So the $30 million, I find 10 of America's best, pay them $2 million each. It's $20 million. Right, I'm allowed to do that too. The roster is wide open, so that's also comes with the Stefan rule. But anyway, so there you go. That to me is MLS 3.0. Open. It's a hard cap with a couple DPs. I think that opens up the thing. Get rid of all the rules. Get rid of all the crap. Get rid of all your geo restrictions. Get rid of all that. Throw that in the trash. Just have open rosters. Hard cap. But the cap is built to kind of be an unlimited data plan, where it's like, you can pay good salaries and without really being bothered by cap space. And there you go. And then I definitely would want a focus on the domestic player. They're not going to do that, by the way. This is a Stefan request. I think they're going to encourage the international player more. Like I said, maybe 8 slots.
That's the only way to get better quickly, if that's the goal.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any? Then we didn't really talk fall to spring or any of that stuff. Do you have any other thoughts on
What?
MLS 3.0?
Wait, what was the
Fall
last
to spring. Fall to spring. Winter
Fall
games.
to spring,
Winter
the
games.
calendar. Yeah.
All those really cool Toronto February games we're about to have.
I mean, it was cold AF in March in Yankee Stadium this year. I have not forgotten. Like, my feet were freezing. So, but I think the new stadium will probably be a little warmer.
So,
yeah, I mean, I think what I said, I said what I said. I think the biggest problem is this ambition that is, the words are way bigger than the cash. So I think that's always going to be a problem. If you raise this expectation that, oh, you're looking at, it's like you're trying to sell a ham sandwich as caviar. You're always going to be disappointed. But maybe the ham sandwich is good, but like, if you keep saying like, well, soon it will just turn into a caviar, whatever. I don't know. My metaphor is it's not working, but like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I think the problem is that they keep promising these things that are nowhere near borne out by the financials, and that's always going to leave people discontent.
Yeah, Jack Harrison still doesn't have a U.S. green card.
Is that
well, Jack
true?
Harrison isn't in. Jack Harrison
card.
isn't in. Jack Harrison's been in England for years, right? How are we? An hour and a half, by the way. I wanted to keep this under an hour. What's
yeah,
our
that
time?
didn't happen.
Well, we need to go. We'll save this winter talk for next week.
We talked ourselves into a tizzy.
Well, it's more important. Talk about what MLS 3. What do you think MLS 3.0 is actually going to look like, though? Do you think it's going to look anything like that? I doubt it. I think it's going to be like, good news, it's $10 million now. We did it.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
I think it's going to be a small jump at that.
I mean, Messi's been here for like almost 2 full seasons and nothing's happened. So it's like, yeah, my expectations are well managed.
Mine as well. All right, everybody. This was MLS.
Yeah.
This is us. This is MLS. We got 3.0 coming up. We want a lot.
2.0.
They will promise plenty, probably fail to deliver it. But we want a lot. We can always dream. All right, everyone. Cheers.
All right.
I'm melting.
Bye.
Yeah.